Right. So I knew this was coming. So one of Nolan Wells' friends that was out there on the boat, I believe it was Bart, you know how he's, going after people with the lawsuits. Now his lawyer is saying that the audio from the tow has been doctored. Okay, that's what he's saying. He's saying it's been doctored. I knew somebody was going to come out and say that the audio was doctored. I mean, if I was a lawyer, I'd probably say the same thing. But that's what's going on right now. So the audio, he's thinking, is being doctored. So here's what's going to happen. It's a good thing that um, Nolan's parents is having an independent investigation being done. They got to bring in the forensic people. They have to bring in the forensic people. I'm talking about legitimate forensic people to come in and look at the audio, clean it up, and see if it's been doctored or whatever. So that's probably what's going to happen. If I'm a betting man, it hasn't been doctored. The only thing that's been doctored, I believe some of it's been doctored, some of it. But I'm talking about the original file that Mississippi put out to the public. I don't think that was doctored. You know why I don't think it was doctored? Because this is my opinion. Because the operator, she was saying, "Is everybody okay?" And you could tell she was listening, and she can tell that it was something going on in the background. She didn't know what, but there was some commotion going on in the background. So that original file, I don't believe has been doctored, in my opinion. Now, some of the stuff that was put out there, you can't really trust people, and you got AI. But when I heard the original audio that they put out, I immediately said, "What's going on in the background? Are they in panic mode because the vessel is taking on too much water?" I don't know about that. Let me tell you why I don't know about that. Most people out there with boats, they're very experienced. And this is not their first rodeo with a boat. They probably grew up on a boat. So if the boat was in very, very serious condition, in my opinion, I don't think there would be too much of a panic. I don't know. That's just my opinion on it. So they're continuing the media, and even the media, they're continuing to shift the attention over to Nolan's parents. You remember when, I don't want to say the guy's name now, but he was accusing them of lying on Nolan's so-called friends. I'm still calling them frenemies. Let me tell you why I say that. Wherever I go somewhere, uh, I want to all come back together. I don't want this to be a situation where, okay, you're staying. Because now there's a lot of other stories that's being put out there now. There's a guy named Sam, Secret Service Sam. He said that somebody sent him an inbox saying that it's a possibility that Nolan had stayed behind and he was looking for a ride and stuff like that. And well, first of all, we do know that according to his mom, she had saw pictures of him on the island around 4:30. And but here's the thing. When people send you inboxes, because he said people send him inboxes, take that with a grain of salt. When somebody send you an inbox, because people are probably potentially going to content creators and say, "Hey, man, I heard this. I live out there." They could be doing that on purpose. Just always keep that in the back of your mind. They could be doing that on purpose, because I get a lot of inboxes on all my platforms, whether it's YouTube, TikTok. I get a lot. I get so much on TikTok that I can't even, you know what I mean? TikTok and Facebook as well. And you got to take that stuff with a grain of salt. And I don't open up links. I know people, let me just say this, people send a lot of links and stuff. I don't open up links. But you're gonna get people sending stuff, and you don't know if the story is made up. You don't know if they're making up the story on purpose. You don't know. So I just want to just put that out there. Let's keep the main thing the main thing. As far as me, I'm keeping the main thing the main thing. What happened to him? That audio is a important piece of evidence. Okay? Let the forensic people come in. Okay? Let the forensic people come in. I'm talking about they need to hire the top forensic people, or maybe FBI. I don't know if you could pay them. I don't even understand. It's the FBI. I don't know. Maybe they can lend some assistance. I don't know. But that's a good piece of evidence because they said something in the background. They did say Nolan, oh my God, I heard that. I heard that when Mississippi put out their audio. Okay. I'm talking about not the audio that people remastered. I'm not talking about that. The original audio. That's what I heard. So, but now he's saying that the audio possibly could have been doctored. Okay. Yeah. I mean, lawyers will say that. I mean, I probably would say the same thing if I'm a lawyer, but guess what? The only way to find out if it's been doctored, have the top people come in and analyze it. But it's unbelievable. This whole case is unbelievable, guys. It is. And like I said, I'm keeping the main thing the main thing. Everybody returned home safely. Everybody, except for him. Everybody. And I just wanted to let younger people know. I'm going to say this. I'm not trying to put nothing in your head, but there's nothing new under the sun. There's certain things to look out for out here, but maybe you don't know that you're in danger. There's certain things to be careful about. Let me give you an example. So I run a business and I'm usually up very early, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to go to a client's house when the sun is up, when the sun is down. I'm not doing that. I don't I don't operate too early like that, especially around certain neighborhoods. You guys probably don't even know what a sundown town is. Sun, the sun, down, towns. If you don't know what a sundown town is, you're not going to know if you're in a certain environment that you got to be careful. You got to be careful in certain environments. You know what I'm saying? You have to be careful, and he may not have known, but I'm looking at the whole scene out there. I know people are saying, "Well, Max, come on, man." I would be careful in that scene. I would have been careful because I know how Mississippi get down. I know about sundown towns, and I know that it's still around. And I know that that three-letter organization is still around, and they don't wear hoods no more. I've been trying to tell people this. I heard some people started talking about it. Yeah, they don't wear hoods no more. They haven't worn hoods in a long time. They're your police officers, your nurses, your doctors. They're in every facet of your life. Military. Now, I know people say, well, how do you know that? Because you can't prove it. That's how they get away with it. You know, they once existed with these hoods. They once existed like that. Now you think they don't exist anymore? Of course they do. Of course they do. Of course they do. And you need to know certain environments on how to handle yourself in certain environments. Number one, that particular environment you do not get drunk in. That environment out there at that island is remote, no cameras out there. You do not get drunk. You just sit there and drink some water. You just bring a bottle of water. That's what you drink. I'm serious, guys. If you don't know, now you can tell your kids now, so they can be safe in certain environments. And also in an environment like that, they all stick together. Nobody gets wasted. Always have somebody designated. Okay, stay close together. I would say some other stuff, but that's for another video. But because somebody told me, they sent me an inbox. It was a younger person. What is a sundown town? This was years ago. No, not years ago. This is not. This was on YouTube. What is a sundown town? You don't know what that is? It really exists. They really exist. They're in the north and south. See, some people think the south. No, this type of situation is in the north and south. Okay, sundown towns. I'm not going to get into too much into it here, but find out what that is so you can teach your kids that. There's certain things you need to know to navigate through this whirlwind, this wilderness wind. There's certain hacks that you need to know, and there's certain things you need to know about people in general for you to survive out here. You need to know if you go to a doctor's office and they say certain things, and they prescribe you certain things, you got to fire them. Remember, you hired a doctor. The doctor doesn't hire you. And finding a good doctor, man, is like finding a good mechanic. So you have to I would get deeper into that, but I'm not. I'll probably do it in another video, an exclusive video, because I have exclusive, I'm gonna do exclusive videos, and I'll tell you there what to look out for. But right here, I don't think I can do it here. But he did. I'm just telling you that environment. I know he's been there before, and I know people saying, "Well, Max, why is that environment not safe?" That wasn't a safe environment he was in. It wasn't. It wasn't. A lot of people think going to certain parts of Chicago is not safe. Right, that's true. But going around certain environments like that is really not safe. Difference between Chicago and them, Chicago, they're not getting away with it. Sometimes they'll get away with it if they don't get caught. But if they get caught, they going to jail. Them, it's kind of hard. Guys, I will come back with my coverage. I'm not going to stop. And because we need to bring awareness to this, we need to use this situation to teach the younger generation. Because some people are not going to listen. Some people are like, well, my friends is cool. I'm not, my friend. Okay, cool. All right. I'm not telling you who to hang out with, but you got to be aware out here. All right, guys. Peace.